Hallo, guten Tag zusammen. Mein Name ist Barbara Spicek. Ich bin die Geschäftsführerin von Newtek, bin Deutsche, lebe aber in den USA und führe ein USA-Unternehmen. Das ist wahrscheinlich ganz interessant. Bin sehr erfreut, heute hier zu sein. Ich glaube, wir hatten alle lange Zeit, wo wir uns auf solche Events wieder gefreut haben, endlich mal wieder zusammenzukommen. Bin hier aber nur zur Vorstellung, um meinen sehr berühmten Kollegen Dr. Andrew Cross vorzustellen. Newtek ist eine Firma führend in IP-Videoproduktion und es freut mich sehr, Ihnen heute Dr. Andrew Cross vorzustellen, der Erfinder von NDI, der das Network Device Interface ist. Also without much further ado, Dr. Andrew Cross.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you. I hope everybody can understand some English, because if not, this could be very interesting. I'm going to start by actually showing a short video that I think sets the tone of what I want to talk about really well. Zoltan.
In the early days of Newtek in the 80s, we had this vision that in the future, your favorite show will be made by you or someone you know. I had the feeling that we could enable anybody with an idea to show the world what their idea was. And, you know, everybody thought we were nuts, but today that idea is reality. If you have an idea, you can make a show. We have this amazing group of people at Newtek, some of the finest technologists in the world in this business. And we're all focused on one thing, helping you tell your story, take your idea, make a show, find your audience, and show the world what you can do.
What we've done here is we've extended our reach, and not only reached the average fan, but people all over the planet.
We've been able to produce terrific content and produce content that we otherwise would never be able to produce.
I love what I do so much because people are excited to buy your product because they know it's just very fresh. That makes everything work good.
All those games, just the quantity of games that are now on and available, it's really enabled us to reach a wider audience and get our stories out there.
What we provide to our viewers is an experience that they can't get anywhere else. We give you exactly what you need to know what's hot online right now.
Being able to take nothing and put together all these little parts and come out with a show that helps somebody know what happened that day is pretty important.
Distributing via the internet has enabled a lot of sports that never would have been seen to be seen and to get their product in front of millions of fans. So it really has changed the game.
It can't be stated enough how much video has impacted Yamaha's ability to make our place in culture and in society.
Having that visual representation of what we're trying to say as a company is so important, and being able to share it instantaneously is awesome.
Your favorite show.
Your favorite show.
Your favorite show.
Made by you.
Made by you.
By you.
Or someone you know.
Or someone you know.
Or someone you know.
Show the world.
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 Zoltan. So I've been going and giving talks like this one probably for about 10 years, and for all 10 of those years, this has been the first slide that I've always put up. I always put up a slide that says, do things that matter. As a company, it is so tempting for me to come here and start telling you all about our products. And we make really, really great products. But that's kind of beside the point, I think. I mean, I think much more important is understanding why we make those products, what drives us to make those products. Because I'm telling you more about our products when I do that than I am by giving you features and reasons to buy them. And that's what I'm going to do today, because I think that that is much more important and much more interesting, quite frankly. So as a company, NewTek, we've been around for, gosh, I lose track, 25 years now, 30 years. And since the very beginning, 30 years ago, we've held one belief, which is that the future of video production, the future of the way we all make and communicate video is going to be driven by three key things. It's going to be based on computers. And remember, 30 years ago, that's crazy. That is, I mean, think about computers from 30 years ago. The fact that you could think of doing anything with video on them at that point just seemed almost crazy. But it was very clear even back then that, oh, and I left my phone down there, but all of you have got phones. That's a computer now. It's got a camera on it. It's got a network on it. That's an AV video device. And that is the revolution that is happening right now. And it has just started. It's going to expand. So there are three ingredients to everything that will drive the future of AV production. It's going to be computers. It's going to be software that runs on those computers. And it is the networks that interconnect them all together. And those three things are going to change everything that every one of us does and probably already has. It is amazing, and maybe we don't grasp how amazing it is that probably I've only met one or two of you in the audience before. But if I had a phone here, that it can already connect with your phone. The fact that every device in the world is interconnected and can transfer and work with video is amazing and offers opportunities that we're only beginning to grasp. Now, we have always believed this, and we believed this, so much that we actually created our own IP standard to help basically accelerate that growth. We created NDI, which you can find. We've got a booth in there. You can go and actually, we've got a big sign. We've got a lot of great people here who'll tell you all about it. But these are our three core beliefs. I think, though, that it's actually interesting now to take a step back and actually think about this video revolution that I've kind of hinted at, that the video told you about, because once again, I think we take a lot of things here for granted. I like thinking about how humans, we're all humans, most of us, have communicated over the years. So I'm going to go back to the 1800s. It all started with telegraphs, where you clicked, you did Morse code, and it went along a telegraph line across the country. It took about 100 years for anybody in civilized society to send a telegraph to anybody else. Think about that a second. That means that if you were born at the time that the telegraph was invented, you would die before you could send a telegraph to somebody else in the world. That's a staggering thought. We're used to this incredible pace of progress, and yet, think about that. The first forms of communication, if you saw it invented, you never saw it actually take off. About 100 years later, the telephone came along. And it took about 50 years. So by my reckoning, it took about 50 years from the first telephone to it getting affordable enough that I could call my girlfriend in France, who is now my wife. But 50 years, that's almost a lifetime. Once again, it took almost a lifetime as we moved from basically clicking a button to actually talking. And then in the 2000s, video came along, and cameras came along, and digital communication came along. And this is just a staggering fact. It took about 5 years, 10 years, to go from video basically being something we all have to us being able to communicate to anywhere else in the world. So where telegraph took 100 years, telephones take 50 years. It's only taken somewhere between 5 and 10 years for any one of us to communicate with anyone else over video. That is a revolution that is changing society. And it's really, really, really interesting to think, well, okay, so what's next? You know, we're all used to this natural progression, aren't we? You go from the telegraph to the telephone to video conferencing. What's going to be next? And something that is really important for us as an industry is actually to realize that there's nothing next. Video is where it's going to end. Video is the end game for communication. And you might not believe me, and you might think, well, there's all sorts of other great things that are going to happen. You know, we're going to have VR and AR and holograms and stuff. That's all just video. And there's a really, really good reason for this. And it is just quite simply that over millions of years, us as humans have evolved with our eyes as our primary form of communication. Telepathy doesn't work. We haven't got it yet. We hear, and you don't get that much bandwidth through. Your eyes are how you communicate with people. The reason that even given COVID, that we all showed up here is because we like standing face to face and talking. And this is really important because video is going to grow and grow and grow. And this is the opportunity, which there will not be another one that's bigger. And it is growing so fast. It has grown in 5 years, where previous generations of technology have taken 100 years. And we're here at this moment in the right area of the industry to take advantage of this. And that seems like something that we should be very excited about. So to me, there is absolutely no doubt that we're living in a world today in which more and more video content is going to be produced. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why. But there's a very key thing here. You're probably wondering what on earth is wrong with my slide. As video has become more and more prevalent, it's also become more and more important that it is high quality. It is really important that we have a really nice screen on this stage. If we had a crap screen, you probably would not be interested in watching. You know, I have 2 daughters, and they know very little about what I do, actually. But they've grown up watching video on computers, and somehow they have learned the difference between professionally produced video and cat videos on YouTube. I don't know how, but genetically, somehow the next generation have learned how to tell the difference. But this is really, really important because us in the Pro AV space, what do? We go out and we represent other companies. We're helping them represent their brands. We're helping them represent their companies. We're helping them go out and do things. And so the quality of that video really matters, because in a world where video is everywhere, it is that quality that sets you apart. And so as NewTek, where we came from, because we've been doing this now for 30 years, as we come from the broadcast world, although we've always believed, though you've seen that there's so much more to it than that. And so we've always said we make the most complete production systems in the world. They make video, they allow you to make a show that looks truly amazing. And, you know, this is easy to see. I mean, these are a couple of tier 1 broadcast shows that were produced on our products. They look amazing. All of this is virtual. It's all 3D. It's all real time, etc. You know, this is not that interesting to me. It's really, really cool. But somehow there's something bigger here, I think. And this is actually, I want to give you our company mission statement now. This is when you go into our company and we give you the details about our company, we say, this is our mission statement. We give storytellers a voice through video. And what that means is that while that broadcast stuff is really cool, and that is about giving professionals, the tier 1 of broadcast, a voice with video, far more important is that there's so many other needs for video. Schools should all be doing video. It is the best way to learn to communicate with the world around you. Every school needs to be doing video. Game streamers. There are 10 million game streamers online at any moment. They're all doing video. Obviously, there's broadcast TV stations, but just as importantly, we've just gone through COVID. Every company had to work out somehow how to bring the company together. So they're all doing town hall meetings because they've got people all over the place. You've got to be able to do town hall meetings, and they can't just look like a webcam anymore. Sales demos, you know, we can't easily travel if you hadn't noticed. Don't need to anymore. You know, we should be doing video remotely, we should be selling, we should be training people. We all have employees. How do we train them? I mean, it's crazy to fly them across the world now. We should be doing this with video. And the list of uses for video go on, and these have got nothing to do with broadcast video at all. So I like giving this illustration. We're standing here right now. Draw a line about 1 kilometer around us. How many TV stations do you think there are in that area? Video production companies even? I don't know, maybe 5 video production companies. I doubt there are any TV stations, there might be. Okay, now think about this. How many companies are there in that space that need to do town hall meetings? I bet there's, I could only fit 4 little flags on here, but I bet you that there's 100 companies, because really any company over 50 people probably is thinking about this or should be thinking about this, and if they're not, they need to start doing it. How many companies are there that are doing sales meetings? I bet there's 100 of them. They all need it. You know, how many companies are there that are needing to train their employees or training their customers? There's hundreds. And this is a huge, huge opportunity. Because for us, as the people who love Pro AV, what this means is that everywhere around us, there are people who need to start using our tools. This is probably one of the biggest commercial opportunities out there that there has been in generations, because the world is changing so fast. And you know what? COVID has accelerated this 10x. I used to get up on stage and tell people this, 5 years ago, and they probably thought I was some kind of futurist. And then COVID came along. Every company's doing this now. And I think for us, for all of us, for our channel partners, for us as companies, this is a huge opportunity that we've got to go out and seize, because if we don't, somebody else will. And, that gets me excited. It's a great challenge. And I want to leave you with that. And, I think that this is a very exciting time to be in our industry. I think it's great opportunity. I think that I'm happy to be here. It's so cool to be doing this stuff. So I'm going to ask my colleague, Liam, to come up and talk a little bit more about what we do, to give you some actual examples. But it's been really a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew, for that really fantastic presentation. I just wanted to go through a couple of recent real-world case studies of where we're starting to apply NDI and actually using video creatively to address all sorts of different challenges. So first up, the 3 case studies we're going to look at are a corporate headquarters, a medical COVID response in South Africa, and also music education and performance. All of these are going to be using NewTek TriCaster systems at the core, and all of them using NDI. The way I currently look at it is, as well as looking at how things are now computer-based, software-defined, and network-defined, if we look at the traditional silos of the AV market in Pro AV, we can look at audiovisual technology in terms of sharing content around screens and around venues. We can look at communications technology through video conference, and also broadcast technology. And the good news is that right now is that NDI is probably one of the main protocols and the only protocol that can actually cross all 3 of those types of silos and start bringing them together for unified hybrid environments, whatever you want to use video and audio for. So the first example is within what I call the broadcast AV space. Here we were approached about 2 years ago to actually help build out a new global headquarters in London for a major bank. And the idea was that we would start trying to build a flexible meeting room space. But in fact, over time, this has evolved to encompass meeting rooms, a 200-seater auditorium, a flexible multi-purpose room, and also a traditional media production studio as well. The NewTek TriCaster system is the creative core of any NDI infrastructure that really makes all of these different aspects possible. And we can dramatically reduce the traditional AV racks just down to single devices. And in the case of this project, a couple of devices around the room, drastically reducing the footprint. So in this flexible meeting room space, it's a traditional divisible space with a removable partition, so the space can be used as one big event space or 2 separate meeting rooms. And using NDI and using TriCaster as part of that, we can then actually make that completely flexible and adjustable on a single NDI network estate. So any member of the staff can walk into meeting room A, and they can use our live panel to actually access through a web GUI any of the accessible services within that half of the room. And likewise, you can walk into the second half of the room for self-service using Live Panel. Live Panel allows us to automate and distill down everything that our TriCaster production system can do to a simple set of operations, whether that's being used to broadcast or, in this case, driving AV room experiences. However, of course, in some cases, you're going to want to do a larger event. Perhaps one of your executives wants to present with a full live stream and record in the same room. Well, at that point, you can go into the Regi or central control of that environment space, hop on any computer, and take access and control of the TriCaster that looks after that half of the room, and control any cameras and actually be fully hands-on with the AV environment. Likewise, if they want to do an event in room B, the same thing applies, and room A can still be self-service, driven through our live panel. And finally, if they want to remove the partition in the wall, we can make it one big AV environment, and everything is unified and can be operated together from the same control space. What makes this possible is a fantastic technology we have called NDI KVM. And NDI KVM means that any PC or TriCaster production system or our connected NC1IO modules around the estate can be accessed from wherever they need to be used. So it's very easy for us to have a single production system that could float between a classroom, a studio, an auditorium, or an office, depending on where people actually want to create content. We don't need to build an individual system for each and every space. The next case study that we're going to look at quickly is about the COVID response in South Africa with a major hospital. Another aspect of the TriCaster production systems, particularly with the TriCaster 2 Elite, is we have a technology called Live Call Connect, which is about integrating with video conference tools to actually make video conferencing more engaging and more interesting. Live Call Connect supports Microsoft Teams, Zoom, Discord, Tencent, and Slack natively on the production system. And like all of our TriCasters, we have support for Skype TX and Teams through Skype TX for peer-to-peer connections. But in this project in South Africa, we had a challenge. How can we enable different hospitals and different doctors to actually view and comment and assist with patients in other remote hospitals without traveling and putting themselves at risk? So using the same technology, the same cameras, the same TriCaster system at its core, we now have a data center 6 kilometers from the hospital. We have an NDI PTZ camera on every bed in the hospital. And then our remote doctors can actually dial in using Microsoft Teams and collaborate, all fully operated from the hospital 6 kilometers away. This increases safety. It also reduces the risk, but also enables them to work as efficiently as possible by distributing those sources and the content where it's needed. The last case study is a recent one with London Guildhall School of Music and Drama. All TriCasters will support Dante and AES-67 audio, so we can gel them in with existing AV installations or events and entertainment installations. Down at London Guildhall, they had the challenge that they've had a competition that's taken every year since 1908. The music competition has taken place in both World Wars. Every major world event, the competition has carried on. So, working with NewTek and our channel partner, we actually then now built out a system where the orchestra can be fully distributed across 4 different rooms and now across 2 buildings. The conductor has a PTZ camera and our NDI tools so they can see the full orchestra performing. And every room and every space for each section of the orchestra has their own NDI screen and camera to relay back. Everything is brought back into a single TriCaster to generate the live production web stream and fully integrated with Dante with the existing Dante audio infrastructure. To make this as easy as possible, we're using Live Panel again, because what they want to do next is actually we're going to expand that further so we can have a single distributed orchestra or 4 individual performances taking place on the same system, all operated through Live Panel. Zoltan, can you just play that quick, short video, if you don't mind, from the Guildhall? Just going to show a very, very quick example of what this actually looks like in practice at the Guildhall site, and we can go into further detail back on our stand in the other hall. Just play the TV.
When COVID hit, we realised we needed to adapt the way we worked to allow for synchronous collaboration at different tools.
We started researching different audio solutions and pretty much at the start it was quite obvious that NewTek and NDI was the way to go.
So we're really sort of helping change how Guildhall can develop and integrate and continue performing and continue education, whatever the world is going to throw at them. To take this even further, in the current release of NDI, soon we'll have NDI Bridge, which will enable us to join these remote sites together as well. So we could have performances in different locations. We can have productions in different office sites and bring those back and actually further expand what NDI can do, not only over your local network, but also over public internet and wide area network as well. Our ecosystem is pretty expansive. We can actually meet most requirements for all these AV deployments along with other third-party growing ecosystem for NDI as well. And all in all, by bringing this together through NewTek and NDI, we can enable Pro AV to allow you to move any content, anywhere, and anytime. If you'd like to find more information, please come see us in the hall on the right-hand side. We're just at the back, and we can go into more detail about any of these projects and more. And thank you for joining us this afternoon. Thanks.